I'm not sure. I mean, it was a good way to learn to ride, because we used to jump on our ponies. You know, we had to sort of saddle them up, or I even remember being too small to saddle up our own ponies. But Mum and Dad were very trusting. We used to go up to the yards and ride our own horses. But we had fun on them. We did everything. You know, I remember jumping on bareback. I remember a lot of the time we couldn't be bothered to put the saddles on, so we'd just go bareback around the place, and that had to have sculpted us or taught us early stages of balance or development as a rider. Although, to answer your question a little bit more directly, I must say one of my favourite things when I was based in Australia, I'd always go home and catch up with my brother around Christmas and see Mum and Dad. And I would sit on his cutting horses or sit on his campdrafting horses, and we had a lot of fun there, and we had a few jokes because he sat on horses like Santana when he was over, and he sat on nice young horses when he came down to see me, and I sat on his young horses. And the ironic thing is, with those horses ended up becoming really top horses. There was one mare that he had, Penny, and I rode her probably badly and did all the wrong things, and I claimed that I trained her, and she went on to be a superstar. So we had a lot of fun like that. We do talk about the ways that we train the horses a lot, and I think it's all very similar stuff. I think when you really get down to it, the basics are really quite similar, you know. Go forward when you say, come back when you say, turn right and left, and how you get there, okay, they might have a little bit different aids, but fundamentally it's the same thing, and in the end we're all looking for the horse to do it off the aid that is so light you might only think it. And that's a really nice thing. But I do remember sitting on Carl's horses and picking up the reins and thinking how incredibly soft in the bridle they are. They're beautifully schooled. Yeah, for me, it was Australia winning the gold medal in eventing in Barcelona in 1992. I remember seeing that on television as a boy, and I remember thinking that is so cool that you could represent your country and go to an Olympics riding horses, and I thought that was the greatest thing. And then by the time Atlanta rolled around, I was totally obsessed with the sport of eventing. And of course Australia won gold medals through all of these Olympics, as you remember, individuals and teams. And so yeah, it was my eventing career, you know, didn't sort of really get going until some years after that, but there's no question that was the inspiration behind it. Oh, that's a good question, because like any industry, it becomes hard work, and it's hard to maintain focus and it's hard to maintain passion. However, I think in the end, we do it because we love horses. You know, I have some horses that are so dear to me. They're very, very special animals, and it's a wonderful thing if you're lucky enough, as I said, to do that as your job. Yeah, so again, I've been really fortunate to be part of the high performance program from an early stage. Also the New South Wales Institute of Sport, when we had equestrian in that, was great, because we had squad training and we had access to these coaches. So we've had some really fantastic people that have influenced us. So Prue and Craig Barrett, you know, were always a part. I trained with Craig a lot when I was younger, and were always a part of our development. And at the squad schools we had access to Heath Ryan and Wayne Roycroft, who we're all very, very fond of. And they taught us so much, you know. These are top professionals that helped us along the way. Of course, there have been other coaches that were more personal to me. Marianne Lickvark, who was a wonderful lady, and who in fact owned a horse for me at one stage, and I had a really wonderful relationship with her, and I learnt so much off her. And George Sanner, who I used to show jump with a lot because I lived next door to him and was a fantastic trainer. So yeah, I can't really say I've had one person in my life that's really been my coach, because I felt I've done a lot of it on my own, but I have been lucky to have access to wonderful coaches whenever I've needed them.